G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Pierre, this is Simple Homebrew, and guess what? I'm doing a beer today, an all grain for a change. It's called Pulp Addiction. It's a beer that I've been looking at for quite some time, just trying to figure out whether I want to do it or not. And I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do it, but as it is, it's a cold day. I have a few affiliate dollars to spend, and of course, KegLand sent me these products as a payment for you guys spending money with KegLand, and I really, really appreciate it. David, I think if you're watching this video and you know who it is, cheers, mate. I have decided to transfer the recipe over to Grainfather because I've got a Grainfather unit, and I'm going to now set it up, get it ready for tomorrow, which is, by the way, it's evening. Have a look outside. Right now we're looking at a bit of a dreary old day out there. We've had rain. It's been just cruddy all. But, you know, red sky at night, tomorrow's going to be all right. That's what they reckon, eh? So I'm going to set this unit up. I'm going to set the sparge water and the boiling water ready for tomorrow. So when I get up, it's all going to be ready, warm, for me to start adding grains. So let's get into it. All right, I got some grains. These are a made-up grain already from KegLand. They made them up when I ordered it. I didn't ask them to be grounded, but I forgot to say no, so I must have paid for that. The ingredients that are in here, the malts or the grains, pale malt at 3.78 grams. We've got Munich 1, which is 0.36 grams. We've got Crystal Medium, which is 0.225 grams. And Gladfield Toffee Malt, which is 180 grams. Now, the original gravity should be at 1.045, and hopefully we'll get to that. Grainfather seems to be a bit more efficient, and I hope they work out the way it should. One thing I do want to do this time around is actually dampen the grains before I pour them into the Grainfather. It has been made aware from you guys out there, thank you very much, that the dust or the flour that comes out of the grains can actually cause respiratory issues. So I don't want that. I get asthma as it is. I cough. I've had a bad cough for the last week. I've been pretty sick. And I think I'll just protect myself a little bit by giving a bit of a squirt with water. I'll show you what I do. I'll just undo the bag. I don't want to destroy this bag because they're pretty handy. And they do seal them pretty tight though. Try and get this open anyway with pliers or something. My fingers aren't strong enough to pull it, but maybe pliers are. Alright, got it. So what I want to do is I want to actually spray water in this, down in here, and actually moisten it. I do have my sanitizer bottle which I'll use, and I do have pure water that I can use. So I'll fill my sanitizer bottle up. Of course I emptied the sanitizer out. Just spray it onto the grains. Then mix them through. Yeah, I think that's all good. So if you guys can see inside there, all the grains have a little bit of dampness to them now, so there's not going to powder up as much when I start pouring it. Alright, we'll let that sit for a bit. So the idea of doing that is to moisten all the powdery stuff to make it tacky, I guess, very mildly tacky. So it's stuck in my fingers a little bit here. But that way, when I pour it, there's not going to be a big cloud of dust piling up into the shed and filling everything up and making everything really dusty. And the idea is keep it running smoothly and try and be as healthy as possible. I've got my sparge water boiling up to 75 degrees Celsius at the moment. I'm going to throw my grains in and go from there. Now I have a paddle that I haven't used yet, so I think that's going to be interesting, this paddle here. This bloke, I got this in grain shop. I'm interested in looking at it. I think it'd be okay. It's kind of just the right size, you know. So I'll give it a go and see how it is. All right, well, let's get the grains. Let's start pouring them. Quickly stir them up, make sure that they've got no dough balls in them. Just like that. And we'll put more in. All right, we're still getting dust. I think I might have needed to put a bit more water in that to dampen them, or done it the night before, which is probably the ideal way to do it. That way the water would soak right through it all. So when I pour it, it'll be nice and easy. What I do find though, is they're soaking up the water really nicely in there. That is a good thing. Now we have to wait 10 minutes and let it settle a bit. After that, we can start the circulation. In the meantime, I will run the water through the pipes just to wash through these, just to give it a quick pump to make sure everything's clean and out, even though I did clean this system beforehand. Okay, as you can see, I've got the water circulating. I don't have my top. I don't know what I've done with it. I'm almost dead certain it should be with it, but I don't know why it's not. I don't know what I've done. I really don't. It's gone. It's missing. But isn't it true that the new G30 has no top on it anyway, and it seems to work? So what I'll do is I'll just let it run as it is. Slow it down a little. And circulate that at 65 degrees Celsius for an hour, actually. It's going to run for an hour. Once it's done, we'll do the sparge. So the other thing too, guys, I've salted everything. Put the right amount of salt. It's got the pH going. I've got 5.4 pH. Perfect. I even actually went to the brew shop and grabbed some lactic acid, which it required some lactic acid in the brew, as well as some calcium chloride, which I didn't realise I hadn't had. So I started this brew much later than I was going to, so I was about an hour out from the original time frame of 9 o'clock. It's now 11:37, so it's getting close to lunchtime. So I've been mucking around for that long trying to get everything organised to do this. Now we're on the way. All right, so we're going to have a hop addition to do in our boil time. So we're adding a fair few hops. We've got 25 grams of Amarillo going in at 60 minutes, so 60 minutes before end of boil. We've also got 25 grams of Amarillo 5 minutes before end of boil, and 50 grams of Citra to go at 5 minutes to end of boil. The rest of the hops are a dry hop later on. As you can tell, we're probably a couple of minutes away from sparge. I need to now wait for it to beep at me to tell me it's finished mashing, and then I'll drag the actual basket out of the actual boiler. And when I do that, the actual boiler will start its own process of heating it up while I'm sparging. So it'll hopefully make it for a quick and easy boil, I suppose. Anyway, so we need to add these extra hops in there as well. That's going to happen as soon as I finish sparging. My sparge system works a treat. All I have to do is lift the basket up onto itself and open the tap and just run it into the actual sparge system, and that works quite quickly. I don't need to worry about pouring water in, waiting for it to go down. I just run it slowly and run it well, I suppose. I have a sock soaking in sanitizer. This is sanitizer that we use to sanitize everything we use. Hang on. All right, we're ready to go. We're going to pull this basket out. The pump is still pumping. I will stop the pump. Press the set button to stop that noise. The boiler has started boiling. It will go up to 98 degrees Celsius and wait there until I finish my sparge. Right, let's remove the tap. Close the side valve. I'll grab my little handle for lifting. Lifting handle. And lift this beauty out. Like so. What we're doing now is we're doing a sparge. We're washing the rest of the sugars out of the grains. We have 15.83, I think, or 15.86 litres of water, which has actually got salt and has been treated. That will run into this little beauty at a pace. The sparge water is going to be at 75 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to just run or trickle the sparge water in while the grains drain through. The clear water will come on top, and that will push through as well, and thus clean it right out. And it's running fairly clear at the moment, even though now I'm stirring it up big time. We'll just let it run like that, and once that's sparged fully, we can start the boil. All right, so we're ready to go. The boiler is now getting up to 100 degrees Celsius. I'll keep my eye on it actually because it's got a lot of foam in there. Look at the foam. Whew. That's a ton. I just want to make sure that mixed nicely through. It is fairly clean, nice and clear. Once that starts boiling, now I'll tell you too, I have 20, what's 30, 20, 9, 8, 7, 27 litres. Pretty much exactly what I was supposed to get out of it, so it's really good. We'll watch that boil, we'll wait for it to go. You know, I put lactose in this, and I could smell it. It actually does smell a bit milky. And I didn't put much. I looked at the amount of lactose that they said, which is 1.1 mil. And bugger all, but geez, it goes a long way. Just keep an eye on it, watch the water boil, make sure it doesn't cascade or come out boil like basically like milk. You don't want it to boil like milk. It'll boil over and make an absolute mess and you'll lose half your work. So the temperatures come up to about 99 degrees Celsius and we're going to go into boil mode in a sec. As soon as boiling starts, we're going to add hops. So we need to open a pack of Amarillo, a Citra, a pack of 25 grams of Amarillo. That's Citra, 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 Amarillo. So this pack here. As soon as this starts to boil, well, as soon as it settles into a good rolling boil, I should say, I will add the hops, which looks like it's actually doing a nice little rolling boil anyway. Boil reach, press start the boil timer. Right, we'll open up the hops, have a look at these hops. Look at that, Amarillo. Very citrusy. In they go. Start a boil. Stir them in. We'll make sure she doesn't boil over, which she probably could. It's very likely it can. And we'll just keep our eye on it for a little bit. Probably 10 minutes. We'll keep our eye on it, make sure everything's right. And see how it turns out. Keep our eye on that, see how it goes. Make sure it doesn't boil over. Once that good rolling boil starts, we'll have to wait for 45 minutes. And then, well, it is roll boiling anyway. So 45 minutes into the brew, I have to pop in a Warflock tablet. One of these, a Warflock tablet. That one will have to go in just to help clear it out. The wort flock will attach itself to proteins and stuff, and it will clear it out. It'll hold all the proteins that are left behind and drop it down into the center of the actual boiler as it's... I know we can chuck a whirlpool in, spin it, and it'll eventually settle in the center of the actual whirlpool. Hopefully, then you won't be stuck with all the hops that I've just thrown in. Like I said, we'll keep an eye on that, make sure it doesn't boil over, but I think it's going to be okay now that it's rolling nicely. From here on in, I can't leave it alone, so I'm going to stick around and keep my eye on this right up until the end of boil. Alright, we'll get there when we put the wort flock tablet in. We'll see you then. Okay, we're about 15 minutes to end the boil. Got a wort flock tablet in it. I'll just drop this in. That'll foam up. Just keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't boil over. Now you can do it like that. You could crumble it in there if you want to. Either way, it's still going to dissolve. Doesn't matter. Okay, so that's nicely dissolving in there. So we'll wait 10 more minutes and we'll throw in the last 3 packets of Citra, which is 75 grams of Citra, basically, hops. Just for a bit of flavouring, and some bitterness, but mostly flavouring, and aroma. All right, we'll get back to you once it happens. Alrighty, I need to quickly sanitize my counterflow chiller. Also, I need to put the hops in. So once I put the hops in, I'll hook up my counterflow chiller, run the hot wort through the counterflow chiller for 15 minutes, and that will kill off all the bacteria that's inside the tube and pipe of it, which shouldn't be a lot because I clean it out every time I finish. It's almost ready for the hops. I have 3 packets of 25 grams. They are about to be thrown in. I've opened them up, got them ready, and they smell phenomenal. I am so missing this sort of thing. I haven't done all grains for a while, and I haven't spoken about this and done these sort of things for quite some time, and this is what I really miss about all grain brewing, is just the hops. Right, we're ready for it. All right, chuck it in. I want to pack it in there. Yeah, you're a pain in the butt. Anyway, done. They're in. So we now need to boil that for 5 minutes. I'll keep a quick eye on it, make sure that it all I'll stir that in, make sure that it all doesn't boil over. Because once I put the lid on, it'll start to boil over. So I'll let that go for 5 more minutes. And you know what? I'm going to just let it boil for another 15 minutes to clean out the counterflow chiller properly anyway. So it won't hurt it. Well, maybe I know. No, I don't have to. I'll just turn it off. The flow is 100 degrees Celsius anyway, so it's going to kill it for 15 minutes anyway. So either way, it's still going to be boiling hot and way above the temperature that will kill any kind of bacteria anyway. Not worried about it. So I'll just let that boil for another 5 minutes and we will pop the counterflow chiller on and sanitize it and get it all ready. Now I've hooked it up to my hose. I do have a hose hooked up on the house that comes through to the shed. It goes through a filtered system. Look, I do waste a little bit of filtering, but the counterflow chiller chills it so quickly because our water temperature, core temperature is 12 degrees Celsius. It'll drop the temperature of the wort quite quickly. I have a Polo fermenter. This is an Apollo Titan. I love this thing. It's fully sealed, stainless steel, and you can pressure ferment in it. It's from KegLand. Really, really love it. It has sanitizer in it, and that's what I need to now tip out while I'm waiting. We've got 4 minutes. We've got 2 minutes to go before I can pop the sanitizer, the counterflow chiller on and start circulating the wort through it. You see, if I put the lid on now, that is boiling vigorously. What the lid will do is trap the heat on top of the wort, and then this thing will just overflow, and I don't want that happening. Won't take me too long, and we should still be able to sanitize everything we've done anyway. I should be able to put the lid on now without it making it overflow. Should be good enough. And start my assembly while I'm waiting for that to cool down. Oh, sorry, slow down. Right. Hope you can see what I'm doing there. Are you still playing? Yep. Just on the side here is where I attached my counterflow chiller. I will pump a little bit of fluid out. There it goes. I'll pump a little bit of fluid out just to clean the counterflow chiller out a little, and anything else might be in there. There we go. Bit of goop. That will do. And now I'll pop it in there just to give it a good old circulation for 15 minutes. And that will sanitize all my pipe work. So once the 15 minutes is over, we'll start turning on the water and transferring it to the fermenter. Okay, so while that's sanitizing, I've got 4 packets of hops to put in 2 days' time. I want to set it up in the fermenter beforehand, so I can use a couple of magnets that I scored from work, and I'll put them in the hop sock, which I've been sanitizing for the last hour or so. I'm going to actually drop all the hops in that, and then hang that on the inside of the fermenter with magnets. And then when it comes time to actually dry hop, 2 days' time, I don't have to open the actual fermenter, I can just drop them in. This will be an experiment I haven't done before. I hope it works. So these are all the dried hops. Pop them into the bag. This is my sanitized bag. I've already tied a knot in the end of this bag, and there are my magnets that I'm going to use. Absolutely crazy, but it's going to work, I'm hoping. So what I'm hoping to do is just place the magnet inside. One magnet, I've got 4. One magnet inside the bag, and then throw the other magnet so I know exactly where that magnet is. It stays there on the bag. That then we'll use 2 magnets on the outside of the fermenter to hold it in place. I hope it works. The reason why I'm doing it like this, excuse me, is to actually make sure I don't fill it with oxygen. Now the idea too is to make the bag bigger than what you've got, so you've got a bit of an area for the hops to grow in because they'll swell up. And there's my magnet sitting there. So I'm going to give it a go and see if it will hang. Maybe the bag's going to hang like that, and I don't want it to hang like that. So how am I going to do this? Do I do it like that? Like that? Oh, it actually... Oh. Well, that actually works. There is one more product going in, and that's Punchy Triple Sec Flavor Neutral. And I'm putting 6 ml, I think. And that's it, 6 ml of that in the actual brew. I don't know if I'm doing it straight away though. I'll have to have a look at the recipe. Okay, right. Our pipes have been sanitized. We're ready to start transferring into the fermenter. I need to start the water flow as basically to start the water flow just to cool it down. Be careful there. I almost burnt myself then. The water went through the counterflow chiller quite quickly because it's at nearly 100 degrees Celsius and it was boiling. And it splashed up and got me. Well, it doesn't matter. It's okay, it didn't burn me. I'll grab a quick sample for testing and start transferring it into the fermenter. Well, that's handy. It might be a slow transfer. What I've gathered is look at a little bit of blockage. I didn't do a whirlpool. It'll take time, but it'll be fine. Once it's full, we'll do a gravity and we'll see how it goes from there. We'll see soon. Okay, the transfer has complete. We are ready to pitch our yeast. I'll throw some sanitizer on there. Cut our yeast packet open. Now, our gravity turned out to be 1050. And I guess the problem I've got too is the wort has reached almost to the bottom of the actual dry hops. I think it'll be a problem. We'll give it a go anyway and see how it comes out. It'll work, I promise. Anyway, I popped the yeast in. I have to put our dip tube and floaty in. So that will just go in just nicely on top of the yeast and everything else that's over there. And pop the lid on.
like I said, we've done our gravity check. I need to set this up in the fridge at 20 degrees Celsius for 2 days and then drop the dry hops in. It is done. I just need to pressurize it now to make sure that the spundy will pressurize or release the pressure out of the unit, as well as I've got a PRV that's at 15 psi as well, just in case this fails. It's got that to back it up. So we've got a redundancy in place. So that's our gas post, and this is our spunding valve. Now, I do need to put pressure in this first before I put the spunding valve on, so I'll pop that out of the way. So what I'll do is I'll actually pop some gas into that. I'll quickly put some sanitizer into the thing so I don't get any bacteria in here. We'll turn up the gas system. You won't see what I'm doing here, but you'll hear it. We'll pressure it to, I'll pop it up to about 10 psi. I would say that's correct. Take that off, put this spundy on, and it will either gas out. That's on, and it's actually showing just under 10 psi, so that's good. What we want to do is actually open the spundy, let gas out until it shows 5 psi. I want to get it below 5 psi. To actually allow it to ferment at that lower pressure, like 2.5 psi, for the first 2 days. To let out, off gas, things like that. Gonna sit that like that. You guys probably can't see. Look, I'll turn it so you can see it. You might be able to see what it says. 2.5 psi. It is just a little bit of gas coming out now. It is slowing down. It'll disappear. Probably end up being about 2 psi at the end where I set it. I'm now going to throw that in the fridge, put it at 20 degrees Celsius, and we'll leave it for 2 days, and I'll do a quick dry hop. Hopefully, this will come out great. Okay, we'll do a reading once it's finished, fermenting that is, and get the proper gravity, and make so we can figure out what kind of alcohol volume it's got. At the moment, this is what it looks like coming out of the fermenter. This, what is it called? The boiler. It is 10.50, which is a bit more than it was supposed to, probably a bit, I mean, it was meant to be 10.46 off memory. Wow, that's a beautiful flavour. It's got a bit of bitterness to it, but it's got a really nice flavour to it. Very sweet. I'm looking forward to tasting that. It'll be awesome. Okie dokie, we are in on the end of the second day, and I just need to drop the hops. So we've got our little magnets here. We've got it stuck on. Holy crap, it's stuck on there. Alright, that's a problem. So what I'm doing is dropping the hops that are inside that are held by the magnets. And now I've got this one stuck under there, didn't I? Okay. It's dropped. Don't know how, I didn't hear it. And also, I need to increase the pressure to 15 psi. Alright, so the amount of hops that was in there, I think it was 150 grams of hops. That's right, isn't it? No, it was 50 grams of each. So it was about 100 grams of hops dropped in there now. So it's going to be dry hopped for another, until it's finished fermenting, basically. I'm just going to let it go. Maybe 7 to 8 days, 7 to 10 days, something like that. And we'll get to taste it and transfer it into a keg. We'll see you then. Okay, it looks like we're at 1.011. That's 1.011. Our alcohol reading will be right here. And it's finished fermenting. I'm now cold crashing it. And once it's finished cold crashing in a couple of days, I will taste it. All right, so it's transfer time.
we're going to transfer our beer into a keg. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the actual method of doing that. I do have a link in the description of a couple of videos I've already made by doing that. Hope you like it. Okay, I'm going to pop you on time lapse, and here we go. All right, there was one more thing I needed to do. I need to put that flavouring in. The citrus, what is it? Triple sec flavour natural. I need to put 6 grams, 6 grams, or 6 mil in. So I'll do that now. I'll open this up, regas it, and get rid of the oxygen on top. Once I've done it, I'll give it a bit of a shake up. It did get some sediment in it. It's going to be a bit cloudy at the start. Doesn't matter. I'm going to try it anyway. It's hopefully going to be great. Let the gas out. Keep recording. Yes and yes. Oh, that's it. Gas is gone. All right. What I'm going to do is I've weighed the bottle. The bottle's set at 0 on my scales. And what I'll do is I'll drip some in. And then as I reach 6 grams, I'll check that. See if it's 6 grams. 5.7. How about that? Just need a couple more drops. Apparently this is very rich. That's 5.8. Okay, I need a little bit more. A couple more drops. That'll give me my 6.8. Okay, we're a bit over. Measured it badly, but that's going to satisfy my needs. So quickly put some gas back in. That'll do, 20 psi. We'll just let some gas out. Whew, strong. But before I actually serve this up, I probably should shake it up to make sure that all of the flavourings have gone right through it all. Like I said, it's going to be a little cloudy, which I don't mind. I don't want to get a full glass. I just want to get the full experience. Smells very fruity. This is it. This is the serving. It looks very fruity, very mango-y. It's very dark in colour, as you can see that. And the colour in the video is exactly the same colour as I'm seeing in real life. Smell it. Oh, it's beautiful. The smell is fruity. It's 5% alcohol volume, which is quite fine for me. I like that. Now, a little bit of sediment still got in as I was serving it, and it doesn't matter. So we're getting beautiful smells. Oh my god! All the hops are beautifully situated in there. Very fruity. It's very almost tropical that I'm getting out of this one. Orange, citrus. Orange is citrus anyway. It just smells great. It smells like a really, really good, well-made beer. I'm sorry. I'm going to try it. All right, it's bitter. You know, that'll be hot bitterness I'm tasting. So that's going to settle down over about 2 weeks or so. Very strong in hops, very strong in flavour. It'll smooth out after about 2 to 4 weeks in the fridge. So I will set it in a fridge, just let it sit for 2 to 4 weeks and get back to it, and we'll see what it really tastes like in that time period and how clear it comes out. It's very nice. It's actually carbonated almost perfectly. Oh, it's very good. Really liked it. I'm not going to waste that one. Very tropical. Really good beer, guys. If you want to try it out, it's all grain, and as you know, it's worked out quite nicely. I'm really happy with it. So guys, I need a favour from you. A lot of you who watch this really enjoy the videos. I hear that. A lot of people pop their comments in and let me know. But a lot of you are not subscribed. I get a lot of thumbs ups, but I don't get enough compared to what kind of work I do making these videos. So if you guys really want to support the channel, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and have a look at my Patreon. See if you want to support me through financially as well. Awesome, guys. Have a great one. I'll see you in the next brew. Cheers.